Hi Leo.
Hi Rory.
Can you just talk through the team selection that's kind of gone back to the one to beat team to beat La Rochelle with Hugo in as well?
Yeah, listen, I think we've a good balance there. Some guys, Hugo got through the game last week, so did James. Great to have James back. I know he's on the bench, but listen, we I guess from probably some of the experience that we had, like we need to make sure we've got that level of experience. I think coming off the bench, and James has been great as the way he's gone about the week. And listen, we need him on the field there to help us win the game at the end. So, and a combination of Jason and Joe, we've seen that before as we have. So, see Ross Maloney in that instance is incredibly unlucky because he's been brilliant for the team over the course of the season, not just this season but in previous seasons as well. So, there's been a few of those conversations this week. A few guys are incredibly unlucky to miss out, but we still think we've got a strong 23 there. Will hopefully represent everybody well. Amazing being here, so we're all very excited now, obviously, with the game tomorrow, and we've had unbelievable support on the journey to get us to this point. So big thanks to everyone, and all the work that goes on behind the scenes. You've the 23 players is what we're obviously talking about, but there's the rest of the playing squad that all contribute to getting us to this point, and then you have a backroom team that work their arses off all year to make sure the players are in good shape, that they're able to deliver hopefully now. So it's amazing to be here, but over your question, yes, some tight calls in terms of the team piece, but that's the nature of a competitive squad that we have.
Can you just mentally, physically, how ready are the squad to perform tomorrow?
Yes, and I think we've been through, like the players have been through unbelievable experiences, and everyone has different levels of experience, so I'm trying to think who would be the others. Like say Caelan is probably the most experienced, so he's been through so much, and then you have like a Jamie Osborne on the other end of that, so less experience of playing, but he's been immense, Jamie, hasn't he, during this sequence of knockout games in particular. But we've seen that in games and in training for the last number of seasons as well. So like everyone has a slightly different lens, I think, isn't it? So but the group overall has accumulated amazing experience, and like some of it is it's character building, as painful as it is. So I think we've got some strong characters in the group now that are ready to perform on this type of stage, and that's ultimately what you want to go through. You want to go through these experiences. You'd love it if it's all plain sailing and you're winning games. Like we were sitting at the end of, I suppose, a Champions Cup final last year, and then you've to sort of pick yourself up off the floor to go again, and you see the draw when it gets announced, and first up La Rochelle away, and so that's the way you start planning a season. And so to get through all the steps that we've got through, and I'm listening to just some of Toulouse's piece, and listen to them obviously having lost in a semi-final against us last year in the Aviva, and they have similar type of disappointment, I guess, so then they have to try and navigate their way through. So there's a hell of a lot of excellent teams that are not here. Everyone wants to be involved in this weekend because it's Champions Cup, isn't it? Like it's Champions Cup, so all the champion teams are pitted against each other. So we're up against one of the great teams in the competition in Toulouse. And it's a privilege to be here, but now it's about the group performing and delivering the best version of themselves. So listen, we think they've prepared well, so hopefully we see that in terms of the performance tomorrow. As I said, hopefully we'll have an amazing crowd here as well, and it'll be a great occasion for rugby, really, isn't it? For rugby in the Northern Hemisphere.
Hello, Liam. Is there anything you've seen in your team's development this season that gives you confidence the kind of experience you've had in the last two finals won't happen to you tomorrow?
Well, it's a different team for starters that we're playing against. So I suppose there was, go back to, we've lost two finals against La Rochelle, and La Rochelle lost a couple of finals against Toulouse, and we've obviously played Toulouse in the semi-final and managed to beat them. So it's three good teams going at it, isn't it? And you just need to get your bits right on the day, and deliver on your plans. So it's been good enough to get over Toulouse. It wasn't good enough in previous seasons to get over La Rochelle, but we sort of we've managed to get past that hurdle during the course of the season. First, when we played them away in the start of the season, but it was in the lashings of rain and the wind was howling over on the Atlantic coast there, and it was a good physical game that. But then we played them obviously in Diviva as well and managed to win with a bit more to spare, thankfully. So, but again, are they relevant? I don't know. Like, is there relevance to that? Like, you tell me. I'm not sure there is that much relevance, because it's a new day. Which the 23s, yeah, there's some similarities, but there's some differences as well. So it's a new group, and that's the beauty of it. It's the sport, the unpredictability of sports. It's amazing. So, for us, we just need to focus on what we can do ourselves in terms of our preparation. And the lads have been outstanding all season, and they're where they want to be. They're exactly where they want to be. But now it's about delivering a performance where we apply pressure on the opponent. The opponent in this case is Toulouse. So that's what we need to make sure we are focused on. So we're talking about the pressure of semi-finals and finals and all that type of stuff, but we need to make sure we apply pressure during the course of the game with the opposition. So, and hopefully we've got some good plans around that.
Hi folks, moving Caelan in. Caelan, Leo mentioned there the pain. How do you use past pain to your advantage on the mental side of things and not get too bogged down by the baggage?
Yeah, it's both. You're kind of running towards the opportunity to do something special with some of your best mates in a very close group, and our supporters have been unbelievable. So to do in front of a lot of them who are travelling over would be unbelievable. So you've got that side of things pulling you forward, and then you've got the hurt and the thought back to the dressing rooms over the last couple of years, and the feelings waking up on that Sunday and Monday in particular, and you don't want to feel that again. And we spoke at the start of the week, if we cast our minds back to that feeling post games the last 2 years, how you'd give anything to be in this opportunity again at the start of the week, to build towards it and to leave no stone unturned in our preparation and have that mindset. And I think it's been a good week, and it's cool now getting to the stadium and seeing it, and the excitement's definitely building for tomorrow.
Hi there, hi Caelan. Same sort of question for a different angle really. First of all, it's all about the 6-2 split on the bench. So from a selection point of view, Leo, was it a tight call? What goes through your mind? I mean, you might have gone 7-1.
We just definitely discussed it anyway.
Only 8-0. And from your perspective, Caelan, maybe when Leo's had a chance to answer that, having the backup of what you've got to come on the field and how that might just affect, how you approach the game when you know the quality of the guys that can come on in your position.
Well, first of all, it's great to see you this time of year, isn't it? Yeah, again, with James, I think we've touched on already in terms of the impact and role he'll have for the team. I think, which will be huge. Similar with Josh Van der Flyer coming off the bench will be huge as well. And he's such a dynamic player, Josh. We've discussed different ways of how do you get impact on the bench. And Will has been excellent. Will Connor's been excellent in a couple of games he's played, and the role that he will deliver for the team. So hopefully we've got a good combination there. I think it is important that we have that freshness in these big games. And again, I could go through. Kieran Frawley, because of his versatility, he's played in games for us at 10, 12 and at 15 this year, and so he's gives us a lot of comfort in that regard. Even like Luke McGrath has featured on the wing for us as well previously, and even Josh Van der Flyer's featured on the wing for us, so it does give you plenty of comfort there. But again, because the way the modern game is, in terms of some of that physicality that the forwards are involved in, so having some of that freshness I think is important at the end for sure. Caelan just wants to play 80 minutes, so he's not even worried about this.
Yeah, like the quality between Jack, Josh and Cheese for the back five in particular, seeing those names on the team sheet on the bench, I think for the lads starting, you have the feeling of you can give it everything while you're on, and you've got unbelievable players coming on to finish the job off. So from a confidence point of view, yeah, it lifts it definitely.
Right. Thanks guys, cheers.
Caelan, down here. How are you? There's plenty of time to kill between now and kick-off tomorrow, particularly this evening, this afternoon. What does that look like for you guys? What do you do to keep your mind on the game? Do you look at footage, or is it just totally chill out?
It'll be pretty low-key. There'll be times when you're doing a bit of footage or doing some visualisation or going through your notes or whatever it is, but I think it's important not to burn too much energy as well, to kind of switch off, and lads are pretty good at doing that with a bit of cards or going out for a stroll or just enjoying each other's company, so I don't think it's going to be an issue.
It's going to be a question in French now for you, please.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Une question pour vous deux, Léo et Caelan. Quel regard vous portez cette saison sur l'équipe de Toulouse? Est-ce que, à votre avis, c'est une équipe qui est semblable à celle que vous aviez affrontée l'an passé? C'est une équipe qui performe énormément cette saison. Quel regard vous portez aujourd'hui sur ce groupe toulousain?
And there's obviously plenty of similarities from previous seasons. Like a lot of their game is based around forward power. I think obviously people think like in terms of some of the ball playing skills that they have, the offload ability that they have. So they're very strong, identity around keeping the ball alive. But a lot of it is based around some forwards that are big and powerful as well. So again, we need to make sure we're clued in for that forward battle. Again, we've got some good forwards that are starting and some excellent forwards coming off the bench as well. So we've got a good mix in terms of how we have a plan to try and counteract that. So, but I suppose like you probably see some, like the sort of physical profile, like a Flamont or a Rumala. They're your sort of dynamic, not necessarily as big a forward pack as they may have had in the past. So I don't know, is that a conscious decision from their coaches or not? I don't know, but you see a little bit of evolution there. Obviously with the halfbacks, they're very experienced players, that we've come up against on previous occasions, and some good young players coming through, similar to ourselves. So there's lots of similarities between the two clubs, just slightly differently the way we'd go about things. But we've huge amount of respect for what Toulouse have achieved over the course of many years, because when obviously this great tournament began, Toulouse were the team that were quickest out of the blocks and at the start of professionalism, and so we've always admired lots of what they do. So we've watched them very, very closely. So their game is evolving. I think they've tried to work on their fitness in terms of some of the sound bites that I'm hearing, and but we'll see how that plays out over the course of the game. But they're a team with a lot of experience on the big days, similar to our guys. So I think it's going to be a great matchup. Okay.
Bonjour messieurs.
Merci. My French is improving.
Another question in French for you, please.
Bonjour messieurs. Vous avez cette année dans votre staff Jack Inaber, qui a croisé la route des Français à la Coupe du Monde. Est-ce que vous pensez que c'est un argument en plus pour vous, qu'il avait fait quelques surprises aux Français à la Coupe du Monde et qu'il peut encore en réserver pour Toulouse demain?
Yes, Jacques been amazing since he's arrived, and we were a little bit earlier than this time last year. We would have been having different conversations, with the idea of Jack coming in. So he's been great in terms of how he's slotted into the coaching group. We're lucky with the group of coaches that we have, I think. So Jack has come in. Andrew Goodman, this will be his last season before he takes on a role with the national team. Sean O'Brien, who's a young coach, obviously former player, has a huge experience playing at the top end, and Emmett Farrell as well. And I'm talking about the rugby coaches, but again, I could keep going in terms of all our backroom team, who do a great job in terms of looking after the players. So Jack he's got experience of winning at the top end, so of the game, winning 2 World Cups, and the experience that he has been through in terms of knockout games. And listen, he's adding little layers to the playing group all the time. So as I said, he came in this week. It was round 7 of the URC this year. We played Connacht away, which is his first game. And again, you're trying to implement some new ideas, which is always a challenge. And the next game was La Rochelle away, which is the start of the Champions Cup. So, he's been a breath of fresh air for the group, and we've all enjoyed, bouncing ideas off each other. And just a slightly different style of doing things. So, but it's been a great start of a good relationship, hopefully, for players and coaches alike. Yeah.
Hey, Caelan. Has there been any changes to the preparation this time compared to the last two finals to get different results?
Not a massive amount, I don't think. I think we've understood Toulouse, what they're going to bring very well. We've put quite a bit of time into understanding them and their DNA, and we know them obviously from the last two seasons quite well. So that was sort of a large portion of early in the week, and then you always turn the focus back to ourselves and what we can do, and bringing our uniqueness and all the things that we think we're capable of and know we're capable of. And there's a massive amount of belief in the group, like Leo was talking about there with Jacques, what he's brought and his experience, and the D system we now have, and there's a lot of excitement that brings and comes with that. So not a whole amount has changed, I don't think.
Hey, Caelan, down here. Just on the defence, Jacques said it would take some time to get where you need to be. What's your perspective been on that, getting to grips with it, and how confident are you that it's ready to go against a brilliant attack?
Yeah, I think if you look at that first half in Northampton, it was right where it showed how far it's progressed since that game Leo mentioned there, Connacht. And I think everyone's bought into it massively. I think with the ability to have an attack and them averaging 40 plus points a game, I think we're going to probably need to be on it. And there's sort of an awareness that at times we're going to get it right, we're going to stop them, we're going to get turnovers. At times they will make line breaks, they've got such quality, and it's about our effort and our work rate and our scramble and enjoying that and loving that. So it's definitely going to be a test, but yeah, one we're looking forward to.
Okay, this last question.
Hi, Leo. Just with regards to Jason talked early in the season about he felt Leinster might be his way back into the South African setup, and he was going to play his best for you. It appears that he sounds like he's delivering on his promise. And Will Collars had to deal with the setback of not playing in the last game, and we had him in with us, and he seemed very cheerful and positive. So you have two people who've reacted really well for you this season. Could you just give us sort of a paragraph sort of on how each of them have impressed you in their working their way into this match?
Yeah, listen, Jason, you could see always the potential with Jason, and he's delivered some really big games for us in recent weeks. So yeah, it's great to see his progression and how he's fitted in with the group and how the lads have adopted him into the group, I think, as well. Will is just a brilliant character, I think, in the group. So, players, coaches, everyone is usually fond of Will, and because you can see like what he's willing to, I guess, deliver. In terms of the physical intent he has in the game. So both sides of the ball. So, yeah, listen. Hopefully the guys go well. And listen, it's like. I know I'm talking about those two guys now because that's the question you've asked, but I could say the same about all of them, you know what I mean? So the group have worked really hard this year to get themselves into this position. So now it's just about, as I said, from the first question really, it's the 23 and how they represent the group, and because there's other guys that they would love the opportunity to be out there. So we think the guys that are picked, they're on merit, and hopefully give, as I said at the start, the best version of themselves when they're out there.